Right, hello everyone. Hopefully this is live right now. Excuse me, a moment, I just need to get my notes up just so I remember everything that I've been. Oops, dropping the camera. So just so I can remember everything that I'm kind of thinking really for E3 this year. So I'll just leave it a second, just give any of you a chance to join if you are going to join me. But yeah, so this is basically just a quick, well, I say quick, by the time we go through everything, it might take a little while, but I'm just going to go through some of my predictions for E3 this year. Going over, everyone from Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Nintendo. Who else have got Square Enix. So I think they're all the big ones that have actually got a conference. Sorry if you hear trains going past. There's not a lot I'm afraid I can do about that. So just leave it just another minute, just in case anyone's going to join at the beginning, and then we'll start getting into it. So as we go along, though, please feel free to ask any questions regarding E3. Um, anything in terms of what I'm thinking, if I might have missed it or anything. Because that's the great thing about live, I can respond straight away. So that would be good. So, and also, apologies for the very basic screen shot, whatever you don't call it, thumbnail, that's the one, for this video. I just had to make it real quick. I forgot to make it, to be honest, so apologies for that. But it's there just to give the basic ideas, and it's better than my face being the thumbnail. So, okay, so we get on to it, because while there's no one in the video according to what my phone is saying to me, while there's no one there, this obviously will be on YouTube after, so you can then catch up on some of my thoughts there. So I'm going to start off with Sony anyway, because I don't have a PlayStation 4. So right now, I don't follow them as much as I once did. So it makes sense if I get this out there now, as there's no one else here. I can't really add a lot to this anyway. Excuse me, I just need to take a bit of a drink. So, apologies for that. That's the only problem with live is you can't take a break for that stuff. So I haven't got many predictions really for Sony. As I say, I haven't been following them. But we'll go over the obvious ones, some of which have already been mentioned. So actually today there was a new game announced that, by the sounds of it, is going to be at E3. But it's certainly coming out on PlayStation anyway. But I'd imagine it's multi-platform. Called what was it now? Twin Mirror. So it's made by the same developers who made what game was it now? Life is Strange, and apparently it's a psychological thriller wrapped around an investigation where your memories, choices, and relationships will determine Sam's complicated fate. As he comes to terms with heartbreak, homecoming, and perpetual struggles of adulthood, Sam will need to need your help rather, exploring a dark and emotional adventure where the line between truth and deception is blurred. Now, I didn't play Life is Strange, but that does sound quite interesting. Apparently, he goes home for a funeral, and the next day he wakes up with blood and not knowing why it's there. So to me, that sounds like it could be quite good. I know Life is Strange is supposed to be a very good game. I just never got round to playing it. So it makes me very curious about that game. I think it does sound good. But what else do I think is going to be at PlayStation? I would assume they're going to show some VR stuff, as they're going to want to push more units of the VR. What VR games? I couldn't make any predictions, to be honest. I think they've said that they're going to show some Death Stranding game. I don't know if it's gameplay, but I would assume so. But they're going to show more of Death Stranding. Ghost of Tsushima, something like that. I don't know what that game is. I haven't actually heard of that. The new Spider-Man game, and Last of Us Part 2. So I've never played Last of Us Part 1, but I've seen bits and pieces, and I know it's supposed to be a really good game. If I had a PlayStation 4, I would definitely be buying a remaster of that. So I'm very interested to see the Last of Us Part 2, what they show of that on their conference. And just also as well, just before we continue, over the next few days, I will be putting out my reactions to all of the main conferences. Due to other commitments around that time, they're not always going to be up straight away. They certainly won't be live because, let's face it, you most likely aren't going to watch me live when you can watch either it direct from the source, or if there's another large YouTuber that you'd rather watch. But you might fancy watching my reactions after the fact. So as soon as I can, after it's been aired, I will get that video up. And then I might actually do some live videos after some of them as well. Like on Nintendo's, I think I probably will, just to give you my further opinions and discuss what we just saw. So I would definitely be doing, definitely doing reactions to all of the conferences, but they will be up a little bit after the actual conference is finished, and then hopefully do some live discussions on the what we just watched after. On maybe not all of them, but certainly some of them. Nintendo and Xbox, I would think, are two I would definitely do it on. So yeah, unfortunately, oh no, actually, apparently they're bringing out a new Tetris game as well, which is made by Tetris developers and Lumen's developer, called Tetris Effect. So I'm assuming that's going to be at E3. Do we need more Tetris games? I'm not so sure. But we'll see. Maybe it could be interesting. But other than that, though, unfortunately, there's not a lot more I can add to my addiction from Sony, because I'm well out of the loop on that. So let's just skip ahead. We go with Bethesda next. Now again, I don't know what they could be really showing too much of for having a main conference. So I'm pretty sure they're going to show Rage. I mean, they released a quick trailer of it. When was it? About a week or so ago. So I would imagine they're going to show off an extended gameplay demo of Rage, and makes sense to me. Hopefully it could be good. I mean, ID, I believe, are making it. I didn't play the first Rage, but I was always interested in it. But their last Doom was amazing. One of the best shooters I've played, just for pure fun. So I'm definitely interested in Rage. Hopefully they will show the footage of it. I also think it's obvious they're going to be showing Fallout. I think they've mentioned that they're definitely showing Fallout, a new one of some sort. Was it Fallout 76, something like that? So I'd be interested to see what it's like. I still haven't got round to playing Fallout 4. I do own it. I will get round to playing it, but I haven't got round to it yet. I played probably about 30-40 hours of Fallout 3. I quite enjoyed it, but I do prefer Skyrim and Oblivion. So I'd much rather see a new Elder Scrolls game. Will we see a new Elder Scrolls? Will we see a new Elder Scrolls at E3 this year? No, I don't think so. We might see some more information on the expansion coming to Elder Scrolls Online. Was it Somerset Isles? Or was that a different one? Lost track. There's been a fair few. So maybe we might see that, but otherwise, I doubt it. For anything Elder Scrolls wise, but we are definitely going to be seeing some Fallout stuff. Is it going to be a full gameplay reveal or just a trailer? I'm thinking it's going to be a full gameplay reveal. What sort of game? I'm not sure, because it doesn't seem that long ago. How long is it? 2 years since Fallout 4? It seems a bit quick for a new Fallout to me. So maybe it's going to be some sort of spin-off. But I don't know. We'll see. Potentially, I do think we might see Wolfenstein 2. Yes, it's already out on Xbox and PlayStation 4, but it's coming out on Nintendo Switch reasonably soon. So maybe they might want to show that off, because I think they might have shown it off, the Skyrim Nintendo Switch version, at one of their conferences, I believe. I think there was, yeah, I believe it did. They showed it off that they was also bringing the VR version as well. So yeah, I reckon they might show how Wolfenstein 2 runs on the Nintendo Switch. Maybe they might announce Fallout 4 for Nintendo Switch, potentially, or Fallout 3 Remaster. I don't know, maybe. But I do think we're going to potentially see Wolfenstein, Nintendo Switch version. But what else could they be showing? I'm not so sure. I remember last year I was very disappointed. There didn't really seem to be that much they showed. So I think it could end up being in the same kind of vein, to be honest. But we'll see. It's only a few days. It might surprise us. Who knows? But so next EA rather. So we can make a few more predictions on these. I think it's likely they'll probably show off whatever new FIFA game and other EA Sports games. I'm not really into them, so I don't really follow them, unfortunately. But I'm kind of getting out of the way all the stuff I don't really follow as much, so I can get into depth in the stuff that's more important to me and this channel. But yeah, it makes sense that the EA normally shows some stuff to do with their sports titles. So on top of that, I think it's very, very likely we're going to see more of Anthem. I mean, that's due first quarter of next year, I believe. So to me, it seems very likely they would want to get that out there. And after what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2, they're probably going to want to try and get some confidence that you're not going to have to spend a fortune to unlock everything in Anthem. The last thing they want to do is people, what happening rather is people not buying it because they believe they're going to have to spend a fortune to get any content in the game. So I do think they're going to address those fears for Anthem and show off more gameplay, because yeah, we did see some gameplay last year, but it was a very brief demo, so hopefully they'll show some more of the environments and some more things you can do in it, as opposed to a quick sort of run and gun style of gameplay, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see more Anthem. I think, as I say, to quell people's fears. I reckon we could see new DLC information for Battlefront 2. I'm not sure how invested they are in that now, but I do think we see some more DLC for that game. I believe there's mention of a solo pack coming out to coincide with the movie that was recently released, but I'm not sure about that, if that's correct or not. But I do think they will show some. I also think we'll be seeing some Battlefield information. So is it Battlefield V, I think. So it's likely we're going to see some gameplay of that, to see what direction that is heading. It makes sense. It's been a couple of years now since the last Battlefield. Battlefront is pretty much over with by the looks of things. So it does make sense that they will get out Battlefield ready to take on Call of Duty. Speaking of Call of Duty, actually, as we're here, we're probably going to see a Call of Duty somewhere. I would imagine that would be during Sony's conference and not Xbox. But that would make sense to me. I should have mentioned that earlier during the Sony part, but I completely forgot to mention it. So, yeah, they're going to want Battlefield to fight that, so they're going to be showing that off, I would say. Probably have some other small indie style titles like last year, where we saw, was it Faye and Celeste? Oh, was that during E3 last year, or was that during Nintendo's last Direct? I think it might have been both, to be honest. But yeah, they often have a couple of little indie style games in development, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them. What else? What else do we think we see from EA? So, yeah, I wonder. I do kind of wonder if we will see one of their new Star Wars games. We know they've got another Star Wars game in development. Hopefully, we might see it. We haven't seen anything else other than Battlefront for a good few years. We saw what was it, Star Wars 2013, but that was cancelled. So I'm wondering if they're going to use some assets from that to make whatever the new game is going to be. But I'm pretty sure they have confirmed they've got another 2, is it? I think it's another 2 games in development that are Star Wars related. So hopefully we might finally get a reveal of that, even if it's just a tease of a CG trailer. I think it would be good to finally get some information out there. Especially, unfortunately, due to people, which is very silly in my eyes. You know, you might not like it, fair enough, but it's very silly. I personally think what's going on at the moment. But the whole situation we're at with Star Wars at the moment has, you know, dipped a little bit, unfortunately, people boycotting the new film. I understand people might not want to go and see Han Solo because it's only, you know, 5 months or so since the last one. So I can understand people might be a bit bored of it for a little bit. But boycotting it because you just didn't like the last one seems a bit odd to me. Anyway, I won't get too far into that because we're talking about E3. But I do think seeing a new Star Wars game would bring that interest back into the franchise, and get over that sort of feeling of disappointment some of the fans have. I loved Solo. I loved Last Jedi. But I do feel there's a little bit of a downer at the moment in Star Wars franchise. So yeah, hopefully a new good Star Wars game will be shown off. I can hope it will be shown anyway. We'll see. So I think that's all my sort of predictions. But something I would love to see. I doubt it's going to happen, but I would love to see announced a new Dead Space or a Dead Space trilogy port, like remastered for Xbox One and PS4, even Nintendo Switch. Would be really good. I doubt we see that, but you know, I can hope. You know, some of this stuff I'm going to be saying on there is what I wish will happen, but not necessarily what will. So yeah, that would be awesome. So I think that's really all the predictions for EA. So where are we next? So let's go with Ubisoft next. Let me just take a drink. Apologies. A lot of talking. So yeah, Ubisoft. So we know for a fact that there's a new Assassin's Creed coming out. They've announced it already, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which appears to be ancient Greek, an ancient Greece setting. So that could be really interesting. So I'm assuming they're going to be showing a full gameplay reveal rather than just a CG trailer. Makes sense to me that during theirs. I mean, I kind of wonder whether during Xbox maybe they might show off a quick CG trailer, and then during Ubisoft's actual conference, they will probably show off the full gameplay reveal. That's what I think is going to happen. I've got it. I bought the game. I've played a tiny bit at the beginning, but I haven't really got around to playing Origins yet. But I plan to soon. I really enjoyed what the little tiny bit I've played. It is supposed to be a good game. So I'm very intrigued to see what the Ancient Greece one is going to be like. I do like that kind of history. I've been wanting something set in Ancient Greece for a while. So it could be good. Hopefully they haven't dropped the ball like they started doing after doing the yearly releases. You know, this is a year since the last one. They took time between Syndicate and Origins, and that paid off. So hopefully they haven't made a mistake doing this again. So we've had a new Far Cry, so there's not going to be any new Far Cry games, you know, at E3. But we might see information maybe of the Far Cry 5 second and third DLC packs. Far Cry 5, Far Cry 3 Remaster has been released if you've got the Season Pass. And the first DLC is either out or due any day now. So it makes sense that it might show off a little clip of the second and third DLC, which is the Alien one and Zombies, I believe. I don't expect anything too major from those DLC packs, but it'd be good to see some, a little bit of information regarding them. So, Skull and Bones was shown off at last E3. I don't remember them showing off too much of interest with it, to be honest. So maybe we might see some more in-depth information from that. I think that could be quite good. It would make sense, the game's not out yet, so to get some marketing behind it would make a lot of sense to me. What else might we see? So, Beyond Good and Evil 2, of course. very likely, I think that's going to make a appearance. It makes sense. It made an appearance last time. They recently revealed a reasonably in-depth video of some behind-the-scenes stuff, I think it was, going into how some of the spaceships and all that work. So it makes sense to see a more extended gameplay trailer as an overall what to expect from the game, as opposed to the odd bits and pieces. One moment, let me just make sure that my chat is available, because I've seen someone has joined, so thank you for joining. So where was I? Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah, I think we might, if we're lucky, see further gameplay of that, because we've seen basically tech demo information really of that game so far. It looks very interesting and very promising. So it'd be good to see some, more of the environments and see the game as properly playing it, really have a proper, battles or whatever else going on in the game. But a proper extended gameplay trailer would be very good. And hopefully that's what we'll see. What else might we see though that might not be a definite, but I would like to see? Maybe they will announce another crossover with Nintendo. Mario plus Rabbids was a very good game, a very unexpected game, other than the leak beforehand. But no one would have guessed that if it wasn't for the leak. And it was very out of left field, those two franchises crossing. And a lot of people thought, oh, this is going to be bad. But actually, it was amazing. And it ended up being one of my favourite games of last year, actually. So it'd be great if Ubisoft does do another crossover. What that crossover could be, other than a sequel to it, I don't know. But maybe we'll see one. I think it'd be really good if we did. I'm not going to put money down to say that's going to happen, but I think there's a good amount of potential that they will do that. Or if not, have some crossover, maybe some kind of exclusive game for the Nintendo Switch. But I also expect we'll see some other kind of smaller scale indie style games from Ubisoft. Often that's the case, like Valiant Hearts a couple of years ago. Well, I say a couple of years ago, it's probably more than that now. But often we get these smaller scale titles from Ubisoft that can be pretty good sometimes, because it can be a bit quirky or whatever. But what else? We haven't seen the Splinter Cell game for Ubisoft for a while, so maybe we could see an Ubisoft a Splinter Cell game. That could be quite good. We haven't got any Metal Gear this year, so we've got a hole in this stealth market. Well, I say that there is the new Hitman coming out, which I'll talk about in a bit moment. But still, there's plenty of opportunity for a new Splinter Cell game to come out. I think it would be a good time to do it. Whether we will or not, I don't know. But it has been some time. So I think it's the right time, either this year or next year, to have a new Splinter Cell. So where are we now? If we go on to Square Enix. So making good headway through these. Unfortunately, no one's joined me in a minute, but hopefully someone will watch this video after it's been streamed live. Also, this is a new thing for me, doing this type of video, and if people enjoy it, hopefully we continue doing these sort of things further down the line, but maybe make it a little bit more, I won't say professional, but a little bit more structured, let's say. So, Square Enix, the obvious one, Tomb Raider. We're going to see, what's it called? What's the actual title? Shadow of the Tomb Raider, of course. So I believe they've already confirmed they're going to be showing off the gameplay reveal, which all we've had so far is CG trailers. So I look forward to that. I very much enjoyed the last two Tomb Raider games, so I can't wait really to see what the new one looks like in engine. All we know obviously is that it's set in Mexico, so hopefully we've got nice lush vegetation in this one, and a lot more actual tomb raiding would be very much appreciated. So that is the obvious one from Square Enix. That is going to probably be quite a lengthy part of the conference, I would believe, from them. So what else? Kingdom Hearts is very likely to make an appearance. It's been at pretty much every E3 for the last 50 years. So it makes sense to have more Kingdom Hearts 3 footage. Maybe get a concrete release date would be good, but maybe that would be a miracle to get that. But hopefully they show off some new worlds, because we've seen pretty much the same stuff over again. You know, Toy Story, Hercules, other bits and bobs. What else have we seen? I think it was a little bit of Tangled and stuff like that. So it'd be good to see some more outside of those worlds, so we can get a broader sense of how much there's going to be in this game. So I don't know. I seem to remember hearing that potentially it might be playable on the E3 floor, but I'm not sure how correct that is. But if it is, maybe that's good news. Actually, it's going to be reasonably soon that we're going to get that game. Could we see more of Final Fantasy VII Remake? I think that might just be wishing a bit too much. If we do, oh, okay. So apparently, they're going to be announcing some new games. That'd be good. I mean, I know that Square Enix have now announced that they've got a special division just on Nintendo Switch. So maybe they might be announcing some new Nintendo Switch games. Although that may well be on Nintendo's conference as opposed to Square Enix themselves. But other than that, I wonder what else in this. You know, I'm dreaming here, I know, but who knows? Maybe a new Parasite Eve. That would be good. I know, I doubt it, but you know, Parasite Eve 2, I still look back fondly on. So Parasite Eve 3, yes please, you could come out with that. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, if they do show that off, I think that's likely going to be at Sony's rather than Square Enix. Or they might show it at both. Maybe they do kind of, you know, the dual reveal as it was. So you get one area of footage at Sony and a little bit more at Square Enix maybe. I kind of doubt we're going to see it this year, but I hope we do. I think it's probably more likely we'll see it next year, if anything. What else might we see in terms of Square Enix? So they've announced Hitman 2. When was it? Yesterday, I think they announced that. So it's likely we're going to see some footage, because all we've seen is a CG trailer. So I do think we'll see some gameplay footage of Hitman 2. It makes sense for them to release the CG trailer now, and then in a couple of days' time, hit us with the gameplay. I didn't play the last Hitman, but I have played some of the past ones, and I have quite enjoyed them. So hopefully this could be quite good, but we'll see. But, you know, talking about new games, what if we're going to see a new Gex game? Because at the moment, platforming does seem to be the big thing. Again, you know, we've had Crash Bandicoot. We're getting the Spyro remake. Was it Super Lucky's Tale on the Xbox last year? We're getting a lot of 2D platforms as well, like Ori and the Blind Forest. We've got the new Mario. So there's lots of platforming going on at the moment. It's really back in trend at the moment. So maybe we could either see a new Gex or maybe remasters of those. That would be fantastic. It's been a long time since we had a Gex game. But other than that, I'm not sure what else we could get in terms of new games. But maybe we might see, though, not in terms of new games, but in terms of other things at the floor, maybe we could see footage of the Fear Effect remake. That would be good. You know, because we had, was it Fear Effect Sedona, or whatever it's called, was out earlier this year. I haven't tried it. I'm not overly interested, other than it has, you know, it fits into the overall story arc. But I very much enjoyed the original Fear Effect back on the PlayStation 1, so I'm definitely looking forward to the remake. So it'd be good to see if they do some footage of that. So, what else? Anything else really for Square Enix that might be there? I'm not sure. Maybe they might announce more Final Fantasy 15 DLC, because they seem to be still putting out a lot of DLC for that. But they may well be finished with that now. But the next one, oh, actually, Octopath Traveler. I think it's more likely that Square Enix will just show more footage at Nintendo. But they might show it theirs. You know, it's been a very, very positively received game on Nintendo Switch. The demo, people loved it. People can't wait to play it at the full game. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It seems like it's what we need in a turn-based RPG. It feels like the old ones, but has that crispness that makes it new. So to be honest, I want new games, proper AAA 3D games that are like that as well. And actually, as well, what I would like Square Enix to do on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One and PS4, if they wish as well, is release some of the Android games on the systems. I mean, yes, you can play it on your phone, but I don't really want to. They've released Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, Tomb Raider 2, and other games on Android. You know, ports of the PlayStation 1 or PC versions of them. Surely it's really easy just to port those over to Nintendo Switch and Xbox and PlayStation. I would definitely pay full retail prices. Well, I say full retail as in smaller. Full retail, you know, 16, 18 pounds-ish, 20 pounds, whatever, for these titles if you're porting them over and they run well. Especially if it's Nintendo Switch. I will do that. So it's a no-brainer to me to release those on the other consoles. Anyway, we move on from Square Enix and go over to Xbox now. Sorry again for the trains going past. I know it's a little bit annoying if you can hear that, so apologies. So, Xbox One. So, I think they're going to showcase some visually stunning games of some sort, because they're going to want to try and push the Xbox One X more. They're going to try and remind everyone that Xbox One X is the best place to play the multi-platform games. You know, they've put a lot of development costs into this console, and I don't think it's sold the most. So it makes sense to me that they're going to want to push it as much as possible. Potentially, they might have a small discount. You know, either a temporary one or a permanent one, just to get people buying that console more. It makes sense to me for them to say, you know, for the next couple of months, we're going to have this discount and announce that at E3, just to get people going out and buying it afterwards. But in terms of games, it's a hard one. You know, I do think they need to have something big this year, because last year it was about the Xbox One X, and it was about all of the games that, you know, while we're getting a lot of games coming, and there's a lot of games that are coming first to Xbox, there wasn't many in terms of pure exclusive games. And the ones that were, most of those were smaller indie titles. So I do think we need to have some sort of large game to have people's interest kept in Microsoft this year. Now, could that be the rumoured new Fable game? Potentially. I would love to see, you know, footage of a new Fable game. It's been a long time since Fable 3. So hopefully it's true that they are making a new Fable game, and it's like the old ones in terms of predominantly single player experience, but you can also play co-op if you wish. I do think that would make people excited again, as long as it's not, you know, a reveal of a game that's going to be out in 3 years' time, because then that hype will die down straight away. Now, I did think they were going to show Crackdown 3 this year, but it's just been confirmed it's been delayed now till next year. So whether or not we do, I'm not so sure now. They might just keep quiet about it and then show it off next year. I was really hoping we'd see footage, because I was thinking it was going to be out this year. But who knows, maybe they will show footage, and actually the idea is that it's only been delayed a little while, it's going to come out early next year, and they show this footage to get people hyped on it. We'll see, maybe they will do. But hopefully it's a good thing that it's been delayed, and actually it's going to be a good game when it comes out. Because I love Crackdown 1. I liked the things they added to Crackdown 2, but it wasn't enough new in it to keep me interested. So hopefully this Crackdown 3 will be a nice big new experience. So Ori and the Will of the Wisp, I do think we're going to see more footage of that. We better see more footage of that. Hopefully a release date or a rough release date would be great. We have to see more footage, please. Xbox, Microsoft, please show more footage, because that is probably my most anticipated game on the Xbox at the moment. I do think potentially we might see what's called Cyberpunk 2077. I do think we're going to see that this year, and I do think if they're going to show it anywhere, they're going to show it during Microsoft's show, because obviously the Xbox One X, they're going to show it in the best graphics they can other than PC graphics. So it makes sense to me it's going to be Microsoft's that they show it at. I believe Witcher, they showed everything during Microsoft's. And I think it's time now. I think they're ready to show us some footage. I could be wrong, and it could be next year we see it. But I do feel as this is the year they're going to show it. I do remember them alluding to such, but we'll see. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the game. I love Witcher 3, and I do think they're going to make a good game of this. I don't see that they won't, so let's hope they show it. But what else might we see there? Could there be a new Halo? It's been a while again since a new Halo. If they want something to bring in crowds again, Halo could be it, because as much as some people are tired of it, it still has that appeal that it brings in the players. So yeah, maybe we could see a Halo. I'm not positive that we will, but there's potential. I do also expect we might see some kind of DLC schedule for Sea of Thieves, because again, with that game, it's good. It's got a lot of potential, but it's way too bare bones at the moment for me. So I do think they'll show some kind of schedule, or at least allude to some kind of updates that are going to be coming to the future. Even if it's just we promise that we're going to get more content to make this game a larger experience. What else might we see? I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of indie games. We saw a lot last year. A lot of those indie games they showed off haven't come out yet. So to me, it makes sense they're going to show them. Like, what's it called? The Last Night. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. So I do think we're going to see a lot more on the indie games front. It makes sense that, you know, they do it every year, so why wouldn't they this year? The next Forza game as well. Every year we get a new Forza shown off. We're going to see a new Forza. I think that's a given. I'll be very surprised if we don't. But what else? What else might surprise us? Could they show us VR finally? Are they finally going to get on board? Yeah, we've got PC with it, PlayStation with it. Nintendo aren't, but we don't expect them to be, because it's not that kind of thing. Although they could, because you've got the Oculus for the Samsung that you slide your phone into it and it works. So you could easily do that with Nintendo Switch. You've already got the Joy-Cons, so you've essentially got your motion controllers ready as well. So it would be a good choice for them to do it. But obviously you haven't got the power there to be the really big experiences. But as I say, Sony's done it, PC have done it. Microsoft need to get on board now. They need to get some big experiences out there. And in my eyes, I think the best route, instead of having a dedicated headset for Xbox, go the route of allowing the third-party PC ones to work simultaneously on the PC and Xbox. So you have one headset that works on both. That is more likely then people are going to buy it for Xbox as opposed to PlayStation, because you only need the one device as opposed to multiple. So can we see that? I'm not positive we will, but I hope we do see that. Other than that, I'm not sure what else we're going to see really from Microsoft. I mean, maybe something like the Jurassic World game, because that's out Tuesday. Maybe we might see some footage of that, even though they've shown a lot on YouTube and everything anyway. But they might just put that in there briefly just because of the 4K element on the Xbox One X, just showing off the lush graphics. So you might get a few things like that. Now, potentially as well, I don't know if we're going to see this during Sony or Microsoft. But I do think that Capcom is going to have some kind of reveal. I do think that we're going to see Resident Evil 2 remake gameplay, maybe in a little bit, but they've said that they've got 2 large games in development. So to me, that is Resident Evil 2 remake and Devil May Cry 5. My money's on those 2 games being their 2 big games. We've already had Monster Hunter was out, a few months ago. That's already out. They might show some DLC for Monster Hunter. And they've also got the Western version of, I can't remember what it's called now, but the Nintendo Switch Monster Hunter has been announced. So we know it's something else other than Monster Hunter. That is their big game. So it has to be Resident Evil and it has to be Devil May Cry. Unless they're suddenly bringing out a new Dino Crisis and Onimusha, which would be amazing. I want them to bring out those games, but it wouldn't make sense to me for it to be those games over Resident Evil and Devil May Cry. So I do think we're going to see gameplay of Resident Evil 2 Remake at either Sony or Microsoft. And I do think we're going to see a reveal, but a very, very quick reveal of Devil May Cry 5. Either just a title or some sort of CG trailer. My money is probably going to be with Sony that they show it. But then we did, I believe, have Monster Hunter World at Xbox last year. So it could be either or, but I do think if it's Devil May Cry, they'll show it off at Sony. But they're the games I think they'll be doing. If they don't show it at E3, then they'll probably show it at Tokyo Game Show. So, last, but certainly by no means least, we've got Nintendo. Now, there's a lot of potential with Nintendo. Now, they've said they're showing off the 2018 game schedule, but they haven't said that's all they're showing. So I think the bulk of it is going to be games coming out this year, but then they're going to show off a little bit of what's coming out in 2019, and a little bit of Nintendo 3DS because they need to keep the interest there. So 3DS wise, I'm not sure that they show some stuff, but I do think it's probably going to be about 5 minutes worth. Maybe show some more of the Luigi Mansion port. Maybe another new reveal, and probably leave it at that, I think. So in terms of Nintendo Switch games, they obviously got the main one, which is Super Smash Bros. They're going to be showing that off in depth. That's probably going to be quite a big portion. Now, there's rumours that this is going to be a 45-minute show all in all, but that is going off of a Twitch schedule. Now, just because it says 45 minutes on that doesn't mean that's purely Nintendo's conference. But it'd be great if it is, because that's a fairly lengthy one. But as I say, I do think they're probably going to show maybe 10 minutes of Super Smash Bros. I also think that we're going to see another trailer for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, because they showed that video, what is it now, a week or two ago, but we haven't technically had confirmation of when it's coming out in the West. So I do think they're going to show a new gameplay and then confirm that it's either coming out simultaneously or slightly after for the Western release date. Now, we've been hearing that in Fire Emblem, the new game, is supposed to be coming out this year, but we haven't actually seen any footage of it at all yet. No title, no release date other than 2018. They've surely got to show it, right? I can't understand when they're going to show it. If not, I'm assuming they'd have to show it during the next Direct, but that's going to be probably about 3 months down the line. They've got to show it during E3. I can't see them not showing it. Now, I've never played Fire Emblem, so I'm definitely intrigued to see how it's going to shape up. But it'd be interesting because you've got Fire Emblem and the Pokemon coming out potentially in the last couple of months of the year. That's 2 big RPG style games, so I don't know where they're going to fit them in. If they're going to fit them in back to back or not. So Yoshi is coming out this year, so I definitely see them giving us finally the Yoshi's official title. Hopefully the leak isn't correct that it's called Yoshi's Flipping Islands, because that is not a good name in this country. So hopefully they don't call it that. But I do think they're going to give us the official reveal of the name and the official release date. It makes sense. I don't think they're going to show too much gameplay because we had a lot of it during E3 last year. But I do hope, now I don't know if they will, but my hope is we're going to get Mario Odyssey DLC, because they've been doing a little trickle here and there of free costumes, the free online balloon finding mode. So it makes sense to me if they was to release an extra couple of areas. I'd love to see like a haunted area with booze and stuff, because they weren't in the new game. So if not DLC, then some kind of larger expansion of essentially a Mario Odyssey 1.5 essentially would be great. I'm not holding my breath, but they have been getting on the whole DLC season pass a lot recently with Zelda, Fire Emblem Warriors, and Xenoblade Chronicles. They all receive season passes, so it makes sense for them to do this for Super Mario Odyssey. I do think they're going to go into more in depth into their online service, considering that's launching in September. I do think they're going to be telling us more information about it. They have already announced prices and what's included, but I think they're going to talk about it properly during this conference, as opposed to just having it shown on their website. Now, there has been a lot of rumours about an N64 Classic coming out, so could we see this revealed during the E3? If it ends up being true, then I think it would be good to show it. I think it's the 20th anniversary of Ocarina of Time this year, so it makes sense for them to have a reveal of the N64 Classic, because then we'd get that on there. I would rather have a remake or a port of the 3DS version on Nintendo Switch, but I'll settle with a N64 Classic version if that's what they're going to do. Now, I do think we're going to see some other indie games. They've done that a lot recently. They've been showing off indie games that come into Nintendo Switch. I do think they're going to show Octopath Traveler again, because they've shown that a lot at each direct they've done. So it makes sense they're going to show off some of that again. Probably show off the last two of the playable characters. What else might we see? So potentially some new Joy-Cons or Amiibos. Likely we're going to see those kind of things. I don't know what they might show off Joy-Cons maybe for Pokemon, or what else could they do that for? Some for Super Smash Bros. Maybe. I would personally love some neon purple, or maybe they might have some gold Joy-Cons to commemorate Ocarina of Time's 20th anniversary. I don't know. It'd be good to have some more hardware shown anyway. I do seem to have seen some rumour about they are re-releasing GameCube controllers. That would make sense, because I know the competitive community of Smash Brothers say that the best controllers are the GameCube controllers when playing it competitive. So it would make sense if they do a re-release of the GameCube controllers. But what else might we see? Oh yeah, there's a lot of rumours about Fortnite is going to come, so I do think we're going to see that confirmed. Fortnite's okay, it's not really my kind of thing, but I've had a little bit of fun here and there with it. But it makes sense, it's out on pretty much everything else, so it should come to Nintendo Switch. I don't think we're going to see Bayonetta 3 this year. I do think they're going to show that either the next Direct after this, or maybe even further afield. If they do show it, it certainly won't be out this year. It will be out next year. I'm hoping we might see Metroid Prime 3 footage. I'm not positive we'll see it, but I do think it would make sense for us to show footage and then say it's going to be out maybe first or second quarter of 2019. I think this year's way too packed to have it fit in this year. However, saying that, could we receive a port of Metroid Prime 1, 2 and 3 coming to Nintendo Switch? Potentially. I would like them to do that. Although a lot of people haven't played Metroid Prime either in years or at all. So it would make sense. You know, they released Bayonetta 1 and 2 to make sure people are ready for Bayonetta 3. So why not do the same thing with the trilogy of Metroid Prime? I would definitely buy it, so hopefully they will. Now, I don't think they're going to, but I would also like to see, if not a port of the last 3, if not 5 Zelda games, hopefully at the very least their port Skyward Sword over, because I'm sure a lot of people didn't get to play that on Nintendo Wii U. I certainly didn't. The last one I played, other than Breath of the Wild, of course, was Twilight Princess. So it definitely makes sense for them to port Skyward Sword. But of course, I would love them to definitely port over the other ones as well. They ported them over for HD versions on the Wii U. So why not do it for Nintendo Switch? Makes sense in my eyes. If not this year, then certainly next year. I do think they'll probably show off some more of Mario Tennis, just to remind everyone that it's coming out in the next couple of weeks, and maybe just tell us how well the demo performed. But what else? Maybe we could see some No More if I can speak right, some more footage of No More Heroes. I'm not particularly interested in that, but I think it makes sense for Nintendo to remind people that there are more mature games coming into the system and it's not just for kids. Not that it's just kids that play Zelda and Mario, because I love those games. What else? So, I think probably lastly, I think there's going to be some Konami games coming. Now, they've said they've got 2 games in development for Nintendo Switch. One is, what do they say now? One was a collection of games, and one was an action platformer. Now, in my eyes, the action platformer, surely it's got to be a new Castlevania, right? It could be something else, but I think it's going to be a new Castlevania. What sort? I don't know, but I do think we're going to get a new Castlevania. Fingers crossed. That's going to be my wild prediction, a new Castlevania game. Now, in terms of collection-wise, I don't know. Potentially, well, I guess that could be. It could be that it's a Castlevania collection. However, I kind of think it might be the Metal Gear Solid trilogy might come. Whether that would be the same trilogy as they released on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, or whether they're going to go Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, as obviously that was out on the GameCube. I don't know which way to do it. I would prefer them to do the Twin Snakes one, because I couldn't really get on with Peace Walker, because it was designed for the PSP. The controls just didn't really translate well to console for me, and I couldn't get on with it. So I would much rather them go that route with Twin Snakes. I would love them to do that. But I think that's probably the main bulk of what we're going to see during Nintendo's E3. Could we see a new Pikmin or a new Animal Crossing? Absolutely, we could see that revealed. Whether we will or not, I don't know. But I would definitely not put it out of realm of possibility. I do think potentially they might have some surprise reveal that gets the internet in a big storm again. But what that would be, who could say? What else might they say? They might have some new Labo, because obviously Labo has a lot of potential. So we might see some more Labo games revealed. It would make sense for them to do that, saying, have a new one ready for Christmas or something. But I think that's all my predictions, really. So in terms of what am I looking forward to most during E3, it's the Nintendo conference. At the moment, I play that more than anything else. So it's Nintendo's conference that I am most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to them all. Sony released just because I haven't got a PlayStation. But I'm looking forward to everything, really, that this next few days is going to bring. It's... who is it tomorrow? Is it EA tomorrow? I think it's EA tomorrow. So it's kicking it off. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it all, really, seeing what we're going to have coming over the next few months and the next year. Now, just as a reminder, I am going to be doing reaction videos of all of the conferences, just so you can get my opinions on everything that goes on. It's not going to be live, it's going to be up as soon as I can after each conference finishes. So I'll just have to put that video together and then get it up for everyone to watch. And as I say, I might do some live discussions after some of the conferences. Certainly after Nintendo, for example, we might have a little discussion of what we thought to the conference. But I'll leave it there. Apologies for, you know, the people who just joined this, that you've just joined to. Oh, 1 second. Do you think we hear anything about Final Fantasy VII Remake? That's what I'm most excited about. So, I did mention it very briefly earlier. I'm hoping we see it during E3. And if we do see it, I kind of think it's going to be shown during Sony. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities, although I personally think it's likely we're going to see it next year instead of this year. I really want them to show it off, because it's been a while since we've seen any real information about it. But I think it's more likely it's going to be that we see it next year, unfortunately. But we can keep our fingers crossed that we do see it, because I'm really excited for that game myself. Unfortunately, it's apparently going to be timed exclusive for PlayStation, so that's going to be a bit of a bummer for me, as I don't own a PlayStation. But if it looks that good, who knows, maybe it will actually make me finally get around to buying one. I just haven't really got the time to play an Xbox, Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. There's too many games coming out for Nintendo Switch alone at the moment for me. So, but I am very excited for the Final Fantasy remake, as long as they do it correctly and they don't mess it up. Which unfortunately Square Enix has a bit of a history at not necessarily treating their RPGs in the best way of late. But maybe they're finally learning, because they've learnt with Octopath Traveler that's coming out that there is still a place for turn-based RPGs that are good and aren't cheaply made. So let's hope, guys. Let's hope that we do see Final Fantasy VII at E3. But if not this year, let's hope one more year and we finally get the information that we deserve on that game. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there, unless anyone else has got any more questions for me. Yeah, I'll share your opinions too. I think it's a shame it seems that they're changing how the game works. Thanks for answering. No problem for answering. Thank you for putting the question across. It's good to have some, you know, communication back and forth on these live videos. It's something I haven't really done much of, so it's been fun doing it this way, actually, and it saves all the editing process after. So maybe we might do some more of these kind of videos going forward. So definitely thank you for putting that across. And we'll see what E3 brings over these next few days. I'm definitely excited for everything it could bring. Definitely for Nintendo, I'm holding with bated breath of what we're going to see from Microsoft. If we're going to see something truly amazing, or it's going to be the same. Yes, we have lots of games, but it's games that are coming out from everything else, but they're going to look a bit prettier on the Xbox One X. Unfortunately, it may well be that way, but hopefully they surprise us. We shall see. But anyway, unless anyone has got anything else to add, I shall say goodbye and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon with all the E3 content. So bye bye guys, and thank you very much for watching.